Okay, so Gracie and I are going to make some stew from the C&P cookbook. It is the black bean and butternut squash stew. It's on page 208 of the C&P cookbook. Gracie and I have already cut up the onion, right? And we're working on cutting up the squash now.
Summer squash.
So we've already cut up the onion and it's in our pan. The recipe says to put it in the pan and put in some oil. I'm just going to measure it. I'm doing about 2 tablespoons because we're making the recipe bigger than what's in the cookbook so that we have leftovers for tomorrow.
We're a leftover family.
Oh, go ahead and say that again, sis.
We're a leftover family.
Yes, we are. Okay, so we're going to turn that on to about a medium heat. And we're going to get the onions kind of soft. It says to cook it for about 4 minutes. Yep, so Gracie's going to keep an eye on that. So we cut it into quarters actually because this squash has been kind of tricky to cut up. It looks kind of like cantaloupe if Gracie and I have decided. Yeah, so we're just cutting it into 1-inch chunks, give or take a little bit. We peeled it with a peeler. Gracie's going to go ahead and stir the onions. Maybe. Okay, so the recipe calls for 1 clove of garlic, but I don't have any garlic cloves, but we've got just minced garlic from the store, and we like garlic in our family, so we cook with it a lot. So Gracie's going to get a good spoonful. Put it in there. Okay. And I like to have my ancestors talk to me, if you will, so we're going to add a little bit more garlic. That looks great, Gracie. Good job. Okay, you can put that spoon in the dishwasher. How much cumin do we need, Gracie? So 1 teaspoon? Mm-hmm. So we find the 1 teaspoon, and it fits in there. And then we just get about 1. What does it smell like?
It recognized me of tacos.
Tacos. Smells like tacos. Those remind me of tacos too. Okay. We stir that in.
And then they look a little brownish with little seeds in them. That's what they look like.
Yeah. So the garlic kind of makes it look like a seed?
Yeah.
Okay. So we added the cumin. We also need to add paprika. We need about half a teaspoon, but we're doubling it, so we're going to add a little bit more than half a teaspoon. So we're going to add a full teaspoon, and it fits in there too. Okay. What does this one smell like, Gracie?
I don't know what that reminds me of.
Kind of a brownish white color. Smells really good. So to help make this recipe easier, Gracie, what did we do before we started cooking?
We gathered all of our ingredients first, and then once we started cooking, we looked at the recipe.
Yeah. So we're adding a little something to this stew. It doesn't call for chicken, but we thought we'd have some extra protein into ours. So in another pan, I have some frozen chicken boiling to get it cooked, and we're going to add it to this stew as well. Okay, then it says to add tomato paste, and since we're doubling the recipe, I'm going to use pretty much just the whole can. We are going to add the chicken broth, about 14 ounces, to the onions and tomato paste. Gracie's gonna give that a stir while I get the black beans. Okay, the black beans were canned, and all I did was put them in a strainer so that I could drain them and rinse them. Gracie's gonna keep stirring. Okay, and then we're gonna add the summer squash. And give that a good stir. Make sure that everything is mixed up. Our stew is orange and red and black, has a lot of color, and now we're gonna let it simmer and get the squash soft, which will take about 30 minutes. So Gracie is cutting up the chicken that we decided to add to the stew. She's using the tongs kind of as a holder because the chicken is hot. She's cutting it into bite-sized pieces. We're working on our cutting skills so that she can be confident in the kitchen. Use your tongs to hold it. There you go. Nice job. So you want to get the black bean and butternut squash stew to a boil. And you can see that it is starting to bubble. Then you want to reduce it to a simmer. So I'm going to take it from high to about a medium heat. I'm going to give it a stir. Now I think that this stew is just kind of pretty. It's got a nice red color with those chunks of orange squash. You can see through the steam. Some black beans. Okay, and we're going to let that keep on simmering for about another 20 minutes or so until the squash is tender.